Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Kalispell, Montana. Welcome to Check This Out Live, where we check out Stampin' Up's kit collection and see just how much creative fun we can have with what's inside the box. So let's check it out. All right, so here we have our Pretty Party Kit. And we've done it before because you're probably thinking, wait, June, we already did this kit in our past Kit Together lives. But today I want to show you some alternates. So first, it is an all-inclusive kit. So therefore, we have our scissors and we don't need anything else. But the Take Your Pick tool and the bone folder are two nice tools that would be great to have in addition to your scissors because they just help make life that much easier. And who doesn't like easier life? So let me just show you what's in the box before we get started. So we always have our no-fail instructions. Shows you what's in the box, the colors that coordinate with it, and this is where I got my ideas for card bases. So I'm using different card bases. So I try and do these alternates and mix and matches and things like that to where you don't have to go buy a boatload of stuff, where you probably have some of it already in your stash, or you might just need a little extra. So these were the cards. Here are the instructions. You got your block. And you know what, if you end up with enough kits, because they're so simple and easy and they don't take a lot of space, you could end up never having to buy any ergonomic blocks. I'll be using my ergonomic blocks. Or, like I've mentioned in the past, you can glue two blocks together so that you have them a little thicker instead of the thin ones. The choice, of course, is completely up to you. We have birthday wishes, congratulations, it's time to celebrate, and our little balloons in our photopolymer stamps. We have lots of, here we go. We have lots of dimensionals, and we have our gems. So you don't even have to buy other adhesives. I tend to use my green glue, which is moved. I need to put one at each side. I keep forgetting. So I tend to use the green glue because it's quick and easy and it doesn't require any fuss or muss. So these are the cards as designed. And you can see the paper was, or the envelopes has the gold here. So these are the cards as designed. We added that in there, and then they had this side. And so what I ended up doing is I cut some of these apart, and I'll show you how I did that. So then we did this one. These were all just popped up in the same place, and that allowed for being able to make more cards. All right, so there's the backing of that. And then we have this one that was like that. And we have that. So I took some things out of here already, so I'm going to set that aside. I've got 4 cards for you today, actually. So I brought in some other cardstock that coordinated with it, and then I'm bringing in some other inks. The Cajun Craze is the ink spot that came with it, and then I'm bringing in the Blackberry Bliss and the Fresh Freesia. So we'll start with this card, and I did one little fun fold. So what I did, and I'll show you the card base that I took it from so you can see what I did. What I did is I cut this one right here. All right, so yes, it has the score line, but I'm going to show you what to do with that score line. Good morning, Covina. Great to see you on here. You're in Wyoming, so you're getting closer back to home, huh? Are you headed on your way home? Not sure how long you'll have the Wi-Fi. Well, that's great. I'm glad you'll pop in. So this has the line, but I wanted the balloons. But I'm going to show you a little trick that I actually got the idea from Rachel Tessman on how to use these to your advantage instead of sometimes I try and pretend they're not there. So let me show you. You can see I cut a strip off of here and off of here, and we're actually going to use those strips on our next card. So we have this score line here, and so what we're going to do, put our trimmer out of the way, or a cutting blade, we're going to use that to our advantage. So it's here in the middle, so I'm going to then move it over. Let's see, it is at 1 1/4 inch, so I'm going to move it over 1/4 inch and score, and then go another 1/4 inch. And so we're just going to emboss this to just give the whole paper a little bit more pizzazz. So you can use your paper trimmer for more than just cutting. We can use it for scoring. So you could leave the score lines like that. Let's see, you can see them better over here. The score lines like that, and just have the top part, or we can do the whole thing. I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing. So we've got it here, and then we'll just keep moving it over 1/4 inch, and then the whole thing will be scored, and no one will know that you cut with the score line showing, because you're just giving the whole thing a little extra pizzazz, almost like embossing, except instead of having to have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you can use your trimmer, your embossing tool on your trimmer, or your scoring tool on your trimmer, to go ahead and do that. So we're just going all the way down at 1/4 inch. You could do 1/2 inch, you could do it more, you could even do it closer. You could do 1/8 inch, and then it would almost look like corrugated embossing folder. So, and I'll just go ahead and do that. I cut this at 4 and you know what, maybe I'll just cut it at 4, and that way we don't have that weird one. I had cut it at 4 1/8, so therefore I also need to cut off. We'll cut on this side. I need to cut it at 5 1/4. That way it is even all the way around. But now we have our score lines, and that just gave it a little bit. You can see here on the back. And now no one knows which one was the original one, because you added that. So thank you, Rachel, for that idea. I thought it was brilliant. So let's go ahead. This is a fresh freesia, and this is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. We're going to go ahead and put this on here, and I'm going to put it on with dimensional. So I'm going to pop it up, and that also kind of gives it a little bit of extra flair. So when I do a whole card front on the front, I like to do each of the corners, and then I do the middles, because we don't want it to sag, right? And then I do the middles of these. So it looks like the 5s, 5, 5. And that way I know that it's not going to sag, because we are going to be putting a sentiment piece on top. And I am just a little bit on the picky side for that. I'd rather have a little bit too many dimensionals and know my card is not going to sag. So I'm going to make sure it opens that way. We're going to lay this down. I found, sorry for the noise if you're hearing it, I found one of Benji's little, I guess it's kind of like a ping pong ball. It's red with ants all over it. It was from a previous toy that broke. And I gave it to her this morning, and now she is running around with it and rolling it on the floor. So if you hear a weird sound, it's the cat playing. All right, so we're going to do the It's Time to Celebrate, and we're going to do the balloons on here like that, and then like that. So we're going to do It's Time to Celebrate. I'm using the fresh freesia. There we go. I typically prefer my sentiments to be darker. I probably should have used the Blackberry Bliss or one of the other darker colors, but this time we're just going to let that go. And then I'm going to do some balloons over here and up here. And this is for the inside of the card. And then we'll use our glue for that inside bit, because you can't really, what was I going to say? You can't really write. And then I can put a little bit of extra glue there in the corners. Although a little line of glue around the outside edge is plenty. All right. If you wanted to spruce up the inside, you could use some of the strips that were cut off to do that. All right. And then we're going to put this on dimensionals. And I typically use 3 on here for this. My hands are so cold. This morning it got really, last night it got really chilly here in Montana. And, you know, we've had all this heat and all this smoke. And my hands, you can see they're all white still. I'm trying to get some blood flowing through them. I didn't run up and down the stairs enough, I suppose. All right. And I'm just going to put those here. Yeah, I think I'm going to put those right there across that. And then we'll grab our Take Pick tool and get some gems. I think we're going to do the gems here. These are the self-adhesive, adhesive-backed sequins. All right, say hello to Benji as she wanders across. Keep going, keep going. There you go. Come on. There we go. Otherwise, she would just probably lay down right here because it's really close to me, and that way she can just have fun. So here we go. Here is one alternate, and I love how the lines really help. Heading home through Idaho. All right. Wyoming was cold last night, and this morning it's only 66. Yeah, here it's only 66 as well. And I'm chilly because I had the windows open in here last night because it's been so warm during the days. But with the smoke covering the sky, it's been a little, it's kept it cooler. Oh my goodness, that's crooked. Well, that's can't be, not with all those straight lines going across. There we go. There. Now it's not straight. What's going on here? Can't have a crooked sentiment when you have straight lines going across. All right, there we go. It's time to celebrate. Now, if you wanted to, you could add ribbon. You could spruce this up however much more you want. But I was trying to just use mainly what's in the kit besides adding a little bit of the cardstock for the base. So there you go. Isn't that great? That just looks like so much fun. Okay, let's check out this next card. So I'm using the rest of the ingredients from the main card, except not this part here. But now we're going to be using these, and we're going to be using the part of this that I cut off. And we're going to bring in, this is some retired ribbon, but it just matched so perfectly because it's that iridescent and it has that little bit of pink and purple in it. So I thought, you know what, we're going to just go ahead and use it. And we're going to do a book fold card. So it is 5.5 by 8.5. It is scored at 4 1/4 and 3 inches. All right, so we're going to glue this part down, but first we want to put this inside. All right, so what I like to do is I like to go ahead, and Benji came back. So we'll see if she lets us do this. Yeah, I miss having a door on my studio because all the animals can just come in anytime they want. Because even if I put a curtain, everyone's like, oh, put a curtain at the bottom of the stairs. Well, that might stop some of the noise, but that's not going to stop the animals from going past. Maybe the dog would not go past because of the stairs, but I guarantee you the cats will be like, I mean, because of the curtain. I know the cats won't care if there's a curtain there. All right, so we're going to get a glue dot for our center of our bow so that it's easier. So I like to just kind of roll it in a little bit so that the ribbon sticks to it. So you can see that I just roll it in a little, and we're going to go ahead and tie a bow right here. And what I like to do is I like to stick the knot onto that. All right, I'm going to center this. Oh, oops. Hold on. We're going to have to take that off. Almost forgot. That's okay that tore a little bit. Almost forgot. We have this little piece right here that we want to put right there. So it is cut at 1 inch by 5 1/4, so that has a nice border to it. But we want to do that before we tie the bow. And do it that way. So this is the bottom part that I had cut off of that other card. And it's got the strings from the balloons, these strings right here, but it's really not noticeable enough to worry about. Plus we're going to be tying the bow, so now we need another knot or another glue dot. There we go. And again, I just kind of roll it up just so that it's all good. Here we go. Oh, she's got my gems. Benji, come here. Sorry about that. The gems had stuck to her tail hairs. Goodness gracious, I haven't had that happen before. Guess I need to be more careful with the gems when they're oh my gosh, give me a laughing emoji for that one, because that was too funny. Had to go catch her before she ran off. They were attached to her tail. Oh goodness. What a crazy scene. All right, so now we're going to tie our bow here. And come on. And then with bows, you just have to keep pulling, all right, and keep adjusting until you get it how you want it, all right. So that's going to be on the side there like that. So we're going to go ahead and trim off the long piece. All right, how is this going to lay? All right, we're going to assume it's going to lay that way. So I will cut it like that. All right, and now what we want to do, we want to go ahead and get this centered, because then we're going to be adding glue in here, and we're going to glue this down. And that's what gives it that whole look of the book. So it's called a book fold. I'm going to go ahead and put some on the ribbon, and we're going to press that down. Okay, like that, because then we have this right here, and that is how the card is going to open. All right. Oh goodness, how did I get that in there? That's the backing from my glue dot. That's not where I would want it. All right, so now the card will open like this. So then I have the top part of the card, and we're going to glue that in here. Now, if you wanted, you could do a darker layer around it. You could use a darker cardstock and put that around it if you wanted, if you didn't like all the lightness. I tend to often do a darker one, but this time I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep it light and bright. All right. And then this will be for the inside. We'll go ahead and stamp those balloons again on the inside. I'm just going to put them right there. All right, and then we'll glue this. Here we go. This will go to the inside of it. Centered there. And it's the same size as the outside, so that is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4, and this one is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. Then we're going to take these and we're going to go ahead and use dimensionals, and this time I am going to use a darker color. I'm going to use the Blackberry Bliss this time for, let's see, we're going to do birthday, and then on the inside we can put the wishes. Oh, forgot to, I was gonna try and lay it out. There we go. See how you can curve that? So I thought I would curve that like that. We're going to do wishes on the inside. That will be uncurved. And we'll put that down there with the balloons. Move this out of the way so I don't accidentally put my fingers in it. Then we're going to get our dimensionals. All right. Yeah, I'm sure my folks would like us to turn on the heater, but it's going to warm up today, so we're not going to be putting on the heater. But I definitely we have the windows closed, although I guess we could open the windows to have it warm up a little sooner, but you know, by the evening it's going to be so hot that. All right, so we're going to put these up here along here. So these are the ones that are cut off from that other card. So I'm going to line it up, not with the card stock, but with the card layer. And then this one I'm going to put on dimensionals as well. There we go. And this is going on dimensionals, but this is too long, so I have to trim it off a little bit. All right, so I put it a little bit too close, and I want to use my trimmer to make sure I get truly a straight line. I put it a little too close. I needed to go a little bit that way, so cutting it close, but I think it'll work fine. Put some dimensionals on there. All right. Here we go. Like this. So we have again to the end there. And then this one, because it's got the flat top, we're just going to shove it, oops, shove it under there a little bit. All right. So I need to take that middle one off. Put it over there to use on the next card. Come on. Ah. All right, we'll just leave it there. And this way we can stick this one up under there a little bit more. There we go. Let's straighten that out. There we go, just like that. So we have birthday wishes. All right, so there is a fun book fold that you can use so you're not wasting when you cut this off to make this card. You're not wasting this. You're using it then on your next card, and all you're adding in is your fresh freesia. So this is one piece of fresh freesia to make 2 cards. Now you can do the white inside, or because the paper is light enough, you don't have to do the white inside. That's a personal preference thing to me. I like the white inside, but if you don't want the white inside, you don't have to put the white inside. So here is our second card. Let's go ahead and add some gems real quick. I can get this off. There we go. All right, so we're gonna do, oh jeepers, these gems today. All right, so we're gonna add one right there. And we'll do another one right there. And we'll do one on here. All right. So we have our little bow that adds just a little bit of pizzazz to that and match perfectly because it's the iridescent, let's see, what's it called? You probably have it in your stash or something similar. Iridescent rose is what it's called, and it is the striped trim, and it just went so perfectly with this card. So it's great to pull stuff out of your stash and use it. And so when you have something like this where this matches perfectly, by all means, use it, use it, use it. Don't leave it sitting on your shelf. All right, so there's 2 cards for you. Let's bring in a third card. And this one, because of the Cajun craze, I'm going to say is kind of masculine card. So those other 2 were definitely more girly or feminine, however you want to word that. And this one's a little bit more masculine, so I kind of like that. We have our Cajun craze cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. It was already scored. You know, lately I haven't been scoring my cards, but that one was already scored. All right. And then what I did is I brought in some gold foil. All right. So that's a little bit extra. Brought that in, but that's okay. If you don't have it, you don't have to have it. You can cut this as a full card front if you want. I trimmed it down a little bit because I am adding the foil. So this is cut to 3 1/2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these over and I'm going to attach these on each side with a little bit of glue. So I'm going to put just a light line of glue on that edge. And I'm going to attach these are 1/4 inch, like 1/4 inch. Oh, they're about 3/8 of an inch wide. All right, let me just make sure. Yep. All right, so I glued about half of it on. And we're going to glue this side. But this would be a nice masculine card because it's not super pinks and it's got this darker burnt orange card base. My son used to have a car that was Cajun craze. So it was pretty funny because he kept telling me, no, it's not, Mom, no, it's not. And I took the ink pad out to the car and laid it right next to it. And sure enough, that baby was Cajun craze. My family just laughs at me because everything is a Stampin' Up color. Do you do that too? I totally do. All right, so then this will go right here. We're going to go ahead and glue it down. And whoops, yeah. All right, so we're gonna do this so that it stays really well. Don't want those moving around. All right. And then we're going to center it side to side on here like that. And so we have the balloons all fallen down. These are more like, let's see, which card was that from? That was from this one. So they had them up here. They had all the streamers. And this is the back side of this card where the balloons have all fallen down. And then we're going to do again. I think we're going to do it. We'll do it that way. We're going to do birthday wishes again. Where's my birthday? Except this time I want my birthday straight. So, where's my cleaner? Here we go. Need to clean that. And we're going to use the Cajun Craze, like what came in the kit. There we go. So I'm going to take that off. I'm going to lay it on a piece of paper so it straightens out. Oh, no. There we go. We use our Cajun Craze. Or do we want this time to celebrate? Nope, that's too big. We could just do, let's do that. Let's just do celebrate on it. So we're going to just ink up the celebrate side. So to do that, or the celebrate word, you want to make sure to just touch down so you can see where it's hanging over. Just touch down the celebrate. There we go. You don't want to push hard. I'm just running it across to make sure all of it touched down. You don't want to push hard because that will make those nice fine letters squish and get very fat. All right. Thanks, Covina. I'm glad you like the cards. All right. And I'm going to trim a little bit off of this. So it's pretty close because we kind of have it narrow. And then we're going to glue it onto here, and I'm going to cut off the extra from here as well. So we're going to put a little bit of glue on here. Too bad you're not coming back through Montana. That would have been fun to try again to see you, Covina. Here we go. Hopefully you're not hitting, on the way home, not hitting any place that's smoky. It's been bad. And I know in Washington, your home state, it's been really bad too. So we have that. And then we're going to put these on dimensionals. So we can use that one again. That one. And that one. We're going to put that up here like that. Celebrate. And then on the inside, we're going to use this piece that we trimmed off. Oh, like that. Here we go. And actually, I'm going to put it on the other side, I think. Oops. All right, well, put that right up to the edge. And then we'll trim off the extra that I accidentally put glue on, knowing full well I was too long. So, all right. So we'll put that over there. That way it looks like it's falling off the page. And we'll put that on the inside. So that could be any kind of celebration. I would probably be inclined to use it as a birthday celebration. So inside you could put birthday wishes, or you could find another one of your other sentiment stamps and put happy birthday, however you want. I'm going to leave mine blank until I know what I'm using this card for. And then we'll put some gems on it, even though it's for a guy, it's already got all the gold. So there we go. And then we'll do one of these. Oh, cat hair. That's the one that caught. She ran off with it. So there you go. All right. Simple card. Using the only thing I added, of course, was the card base and then the white inside. This one that is a darker card base, so you would need something white inside for writing on. All right. So there you go. Card number 3. And then we have one more, and I need your help in deciding which card base to use for this one. So this one is just this big balloon from here and one of these banners. All right, plus some of these balloons here. So there we go. But what I need to know is which card base should I use? Should I use the Blackberry Bliss, which I like because it pops, the colors pop more. We can put the colors on here so you can see. The Blackberry Bliss. I feel like the Fresh Freesia is too light. All right, so that's my thing, is I think that's too light. It kind of washes out that balloon. I'm guessing you're going to feel the same. This is Highland Heather. I feel like the purples are a little bit different. Don't you? I feel like the purples are a little bit different. Now, the one thing I can say is that I know the camera is not giving you necessarily the true colors. And then we have our purple, our gorgeous grape. But again, I feel like this is more purple than the Fresh Freesia on here. And then I found in my stash of card bases, Petunia Pop. I felt like the purple was a little bit more in tune, but don't you think that the Blackberry Bliss makes the colors pop more? I kind of do. I kind of do. So I'm leaning towards this one. Those of you that are on, let me know which one you think. All right. So I'm leaning towards the Blackberry Bliss. Can't remember how I had that. I think I was doing it that way. Or maybe I'm doing it down here. All right. Y'all are thinking. All right, so let's go ahead and use this one. I'm going to bring back my trimmer because I really love how this helps me fold a straight bottom of my card. Then line up the sides, and then I can bone fold it. And I feel like it's giving me a much better fold. All right, so this is going to go over here like that. And then these have fallen down, and these are just starting to fall, and this one is going to go like that. All right, so we're going to put these all on dimensionals. Now you could run this through an embossing folder if you wanted. I did not, because again, I was attempting to keep things simple for you so that you could change up your cards just a little bit so you don't have all the same birthday cards. Or you could use your trimmer again and do lines on it as well. I was thinking of doing, well, we've already done that for one. You know what we could do though? No, I don't think so. Actually, I think we'll go with what I had originally planned, because I think the other way would take too much. Now, were I doing this just for myself, not on a live, I would probably emboss this background with something. One of the more like a plaid, or probably using too many dimensionals now that I'm looking at that. I would probably like the plaid or the circles, the dots, the one with the dots, or something a little more subtle. If you have the brick one would be really cute. So all kinds of things you could do with that. Oh, I just realized I didn't put a white inside. So we want to line that up with the edge like that. And we're going to put these on here. There we go. Like this. And because this one has a flat edge to it, it needs to go either up. No, I feel like it looks like it fell, they fell down. So we're going to leave that at the bottom like that. And then these two can go up here. All right, and then we have this that we will just put across that balloon. And I think we're going to have to wash off. Oh, no. Are we going to use Celebrate? Let's see. Yeah, maybe we will. Celebrate. Trying to see. There we go. We'll do Celebrate, and we'll do it in the Blackberry Bliss. But remember, we got to make sure not to get the It's Time To. There we go. That's the beauty of the photopolymer stamps, is you can change the shape of them. So here we go, another Celebrate. And then on the inside, you could put a glue down because we've already popped that up. So we're just going to glue this one down like this. There we go, right up to that edge. And then we could add more of these. All right, I'm gonna do some over here. I think I'm gonna do 5 this time. Here. And then I'm gonna do another large one here. And let's see. All right, there's 5. I think we're going to go with a few more. Make it almost look like confetti. 6 and 7. All right, so there we go. And then I don't have one because I, for some reason, forgot you would put your white in here. You could stamp the balloons on it, or you could put birthday wishes. You could use one of the other strips that you cut off to get to it, but here is just another idea of what you could do. All right, so we have 4 alternate cards today. Not a record, but getting closer. All right, so let me know which one you like best. All right, so we have, let me zoom out a little bit for you so you can vote, whether you're on Facebook or whether you are on YouTube. Go ahead and vote. It helps me with my algorithms as well as just me knowing what you like. Whoop. Here we go. Let's go out a little bit more. So we have card 1, card 2, card 3, and card 4. If you could just tell me 1, 2, 3, or 4, all, none, whatever the case may be, just go ahead and vote and let me know which one you like the best. All right, and then if you enjoyed creating with me today, make sure you're following me, Junebug Creations 29, on Facebook and on YouTube so that you don't miss out the next Check This Out Live. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Here we go. The subscribe button and the thumbs up button that helps me get my videos out to other people for inspiration. And I would greatly appreciate it because that allows others to be inspired by the cards as well. So again, 1, 2, 3, or 4, which one do you like better? And thanks for checking this kit out again with me today. I really appreciate it and appreciate all of you for joining me here on Junebug Creations 29, and I will see you again next week for Check This Out Live. I may have one of the new kits in. I just ordered this morning the 2 new August kits, so we'll do one of those next week because they should be here on time. And then on Thursday, I will be back live for Junebug's Creative Crush, so you can come see what I'm crushing on. I'm not going to tell you yet what it is. And on Friday, will be Paper Pumpkin Live, our 3rd one for the Hooray for Birthdays kit. And I've got 2, well, I'll have 3. I have 2 prepared already. I'll have 3 new alternates for that one. It might end up being a recording because my mom has a doctor's appointment and I don't know if I'll be home on time. So I may record it that morning and have it in here for you live, to go live at 3:33. So that's Friday at 3:33, 7:13 on Thursday for Junebug's Creative Crush. And then again next Tuesday at 11:11 for Check This Out. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.